Hello, everybody. This is Kenny Cummins here of Chilling with Kenny C right here on TMVCafe.com, bringing you entertainment to your ears. And joining me at this time is a podcaster. He's also a co-owner, co-founder, co-booker of a Evansville, Indiana-based wrestling promotion called Hooligan Championship Wrestling. They did two shows this year, Ascending the Kingdom and Independent Road, which you can check them out on YouTube, on the YouTube page. They are gearing up for a double event in mid-January, Hooligan Uprising and Elevation. And the chat, to have a chat about this double event, is Mr. Ehren Schaffter. He's with me right now. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good. How's your day been?
It's doing all right, better than Monday, so making progress here and there. Um, so thank you so much for joining me for this
Yeah,
interview,
absolutely,
man.
man. Thanks for having me.
So we so let's talk before we get move ahead to Hooligan Uprising and Elevation. Now you have a podcast that's used to name Hooligan as well. So it's you and two fellas that decided, hey, let's put together a wrestling promotion. Let's at a historic city such as Evansville, such a storied history of wrestling in general. So, what led you gentlemen into saying, "Hey, let's give this wrestling thing a shot"?
I think we're kind of like you, Kenny. We were all big fans. Tom Henderson, who's also, the co-owner, he was actually a pro wrestler as well, through the independents in the Evansville area. We formed together the Hot Tag Hooligans Wrestling podcast show during COVID. But we've been lifelong friends you know, and fans of the sport. And so through these years, we just continuously talk like we need to run a promotion. I just want to run one show before I die. I just want to run one show before I die. And it got presented to us at that same time in May of last year. You know, um, we got the opportunity to run Ascend into Queendom, and we were approached that January by some people that were involved with Jerry the King Lawler. And if anyone knows Evansville, Indiana, Jerry the King Lawler is the king of Evansville. And he's that king for a reason. Back in the 70s and early 80s, they would run that circuit from, Nashville, Knoxville, Memphis, Evansville, Louisville, and then they'd circle back around and run that same loop almost every week. And so they were wanting to put on um, a wrestling show to go along with this Jerry Lawler celebration convention that they were going to do. And at the time, the guy who was doing that had kind of been out of touch a little bit with the product, the current product. And so he reached out to me, knowing that I had just written a book called Ascending to Queendom, that was a bestseller, and it interviewed many of the top women in the sport. And he made mention that he would like to have a women's tournament to crown a queen. They thought that would go well to fit along with Jerry the King Lawler. And I said, well, give me a minute and let me contact a few people and see if I can get some names to you. And then in that process, I just decided, you know what, this is my time. I'm just going to go ahead and run the promotion myself, along with Tom and Aaron Silvers, who does a lot of logistics for us. And it was a success.
Yeah, I do remember the Jerry Lawler part of that weekend, which was this past summer, obviously. And in this debut show that you've had a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of big names, and the turnout from what I've seen was really good. Very encouraged. Anytime when you do something for the first time, nerves kicks in. You wonder how things are going to work, and to your credit, y'all pulled it off, and it was a good show. And and now all of a sudden, I mean, hooligan championship wrestling is a thing. Indiana is just skyrocket for years as far as the indie scene. There's been promotions in numerous cities in the Hoosier State, obviously, and the more the merrier, as people like to say. So, and the fact that you got wrestlers from all over the tri-state area, all over the country, even some international stars as well. That's a testament to you fellas to say this is what we want to do, and we're gonna swing for the fences. So ascending the Queenum was just the beginning, and I know you've been wanting me to go to one of these shows. I missed out on ascending the Queenum, but I was at Independent Road, and I was a sponsor for that show as well. So I'm glad things worked out. So looking back at that, how is your confidence level going into Hooligan Uprising Elevation now compared to the confidence level going into the inaugural Senior Queen? How would you describe your confidence level going into this double event in January?
Well, I think one of the biggest things we faced during our first two shows was just getting to know the talent personally and just trying to make sure that they really did want to work for us. I think we've got a pretty good group of talent. Every day we're answering emails and texts from somebody wanting to come on. But the biggest challenge that we're going to face this time could possibly be the weather. As far as getting people through the door. Front row is already sold out. We've sold out quite a few of the second row and general admission tickets as well. But it is in January, right? And you
Yeah.
know how the Midwest, January, you never know. It could be 80 degrees for all we know. But then again, we could have 3 inches of snow on the ground at the same time. So that's going to be our biggest challenge, right there. It's just going to be, the execution of our card, making sure the talents get to us safely, because that's going to be one of the main keys is make sure the talent gets there to us. And then we'll just pack the house, hopefully, like we have been doing. It was a good decision, I think, this time to split it into two shows. And if people are wondering why we're doing that, it's to give us more content to put onto IWTV, which we also streamed there. So we can put one of the shows 1 month, put another show another month, and that'll lead us right into Ascending the Queendom in May of 2025. So,
Yeah. As an individual that's lived in the Midwest for most of his life, especially going into late December, January, and so forth, the Mother Nature is very vicious. It's very is, especially with the icy roads. So much can happen between now and then. But the good news, as far as ticket sales, first row seats are sold out already. And yes, people, you can buy one ticket and you go to both events on the exact same night. So, Hooligan Championship Wrestling presents Hooligan Uprising and Elevation. That's coming up at the Evansville National Guard Armory. So hopefully, Mother Nature will be kind by then, and the show will go on. So yeah, check it out and support this promotion. They got a lot of good talent on there, and I want to start off with the whole elevation side. Um, so we have superstar Jay Lucas, for example. He's going up against Tim Donsby. He was in the championship match with Shane Mercer, and he's looking to get himself back in the championship contention. So two different styles. That's going to be good. You got plenty of Evansville natives on there, like Nick Depp, Mercy. You got Heritage Championship match. You got an NWA star on that card. Kali Alexa, one half of the Pretty Empowered. She's going up against a fellow Lexington native, Alexis Littlefoot. How about this Maggie Lee and her title defense against number one contender Angel Metro? So let's talk about the elevation side. How you feeling about this card going into next month?
I think if all we did was run just Elevation by itself, I think that's one heck of a card for the price because it's only $8, to get into both of these shows. And when you look at Elevation overall, just the main event. Maggie Lee, trained by Seth Rollins, you know, defending her title against Angel Metro, trained by the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant. I mean, that's going to be a fantastic matchup. Both of those are two people that could be WWE ID'd at any time, and that's one thing you're going to look at this roster. If you're looking at some people right now who are making waves in the independent promotions, this is going to be, overall the card to do it. Jay Lucas came up just a tad short against Shane Mercer in his quest to become the world champion, but he's Nightmare Factory trained. He's ready to go. And Tim Bosby is someone right now. If you have not paid attention to Tim Bosby, he's been in the ring with some of the best in the world. Josh Alexander. He's winning title after title after title everywhere he's at. It's a fantastic matchup as far as those two goes. And then you mentioned locals, and that's one thing we try to do, right? We try to bring people who are from the Evansville area and give them the great opportunity to shine. Nick Depp is one of those individuals. He's wanted this match against Jake Bravado. Both of them are actually from the Evansville area, but they've never been able to really have that one-on-one matchup. That's going to be a banger. And then you mentioned her, Callie Alexa, the Heritage Women's Champion, with her first title defense, and it's a tough one. It's Alexis Littlefoot, and they wanted this match, so
Yeah,
I was happy to oblige and give them this opportunity. So we'll see what Kylie can do because the Heritage title has a rule to it. After three successful title defenses, you are able to cash that in for a world title opportunity. So can Kylie get that first X, so to speak, on that list and be able to take on Littlefoot? So that's a fantastic matchup as well.
that's definitely an interesting stipulation as it pertains to the Heritage Championship. So definitely feels like a workhorse of sorts, but it's
Yep.
also a chance for you. It's kind of like the Intercontinental Championship. It could elevate you into that world championship status, obviously. Now we know Kylie, NWA star, her and Kenzie, and what they've been able to do. They also have their own promotion out there in Tennessee as well. So they are class personified. They are well traveled household names. And they're sisters, real life sisters, literally. As for Alexis, I've gotten a closer look at her for the past 2 years. She's grown. She's evolved as a performer. She's traveling. She's doing big things. She's making waves, and she really really puts on for Kentucky. So I've always felt that this is a match that she's been wanted. So the fact that she's getting an opportunity, and it's on her birthday weekend, by
It
the
is her
way.
birthday.
So yeah, she's gonna be if she's motivated regardless. She's gonna be even more motivated going into uh this elevation event. So as for Maggie Lee, she's been the champion for over 200 plus days now, and Angel Metro, she's went through some hoops and stuff just to get this opportunity, but she did it the right way. Gave Ashlyn Alexander the opportunity. Well, actually, Ashlyn gave her the opportunity after what transpired in the Kingdom tournament. So they had that incredible match in Independent World. Of course, Angel went on to pick up the victory, and now she's coming for the championship. She wants to start her year off right. But Maggie Lee, trained by a WrestleMania main eventer, future Hall of Famer, and Seth Rollins. I'm pretty sure Seth taught her some tricks. So Angel definitely gonna have to look out for sure. So that's Elevation card. There's a lot of good talent on there. So y'all can check that out. Now, I want to get to Hooligan Uprising. Plenty of implications in this one. And speaking of ascending the Queendom, there's a qualifier fatal four way.
There
Um,
is.
and one of the four is debuting for HCW. That's Mackenzie Morgan coming all the way from Tennessee. And then you have lovely Miss Larkin, an Evansville native, by the way. Mercy, also an Evansville native. And then the Versace of Violence, Miss Nixie Access, she will be in that match. And the winner of this match will be in the tournament coming in May of 2025. How are you feeling about having these four women to compete for a spot in the sequel tournament for Ascending the Queen?
Nixie had a good showing last year and she came up short. So I thought it was warranted for her to have another opportunity. Mercy right now is undefeated as far as singles action goes. So she definitely deserves this opportunity, especially in her hometown. Larkin depends on which version of Larkin we get and which personality of Larkin we get on how this match could possibly go for her. And then you look at Mackenzie Morgan, a big staple down in Memphis. We've wanted Mackenzie for the last two shows. Hadn't been able to make it work due to her being priorly booked for some other promotions. Could not be more excited to have her on this card. And I think you may know her sponsor, correct?
Yeah, I am a sponsor of Mackenzie, so I'm excited for that. I have a lot of respect for all four women in this matchup. I've met three of the four. Actually, I've seen all four in person this year. Now Mackenzie and Miss Access, they have quite the story hit rivalry for the past year or so. They wrestle in Tennessee, they wrestle in Missouri, they wrestle all over the Midwest, it seems like so. And then you have the unpredictable lovely Miss Larkin. She might be Larkin, she might be therapist Larkin. Like I think, the green tie is gonna make an appearance one way or another. And then you have Mercy, who I feel like her being the Evansville native herself, I feel like she's going into this as the underdog. But that's just going to motivate her even more. We've seen how successful her and Nick have had together for the past couple of years. And, so individually and collectively, I just feel like with Mercy, she's got a point to prove. And she's going to make a statement one way or another at Hooligan Uprising. So, and with this being for a spot at this prestigious tournament, you know, of course, I mean, I love all four, but of course, I'm rooting for Mackenzie. I'm sponsoring her for crying out loud. What kind of a sponsor would I be if I wasn't cheering for her? She would kill me. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be an incredible match there. Then DD Jenks against Tommy Davis. That's going to be good. And a dream match for the debuting Vanessa Holiday. She won this match. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm convinced you guys are Santa Claus because y'all just giving these good gifts away. She's getting what she wanted. The Power Wolf girl, Ashlyn Alexander. So, two powerhouses. Vanessa is still young into her career, but she's making good strides. Ashlyn, she is an established competitor all over the Midwest. Her resume speaks for itself. So this is definitely one of the biggest matches in Vanessa's young career thus far, if not the biggest. So up to this point, then we got speaking of international, you got the hero, Air Academia, against Shaza McKenzie, Australian international star. She's making her debut. Talk to me about how you feel about having Shaza on the card for Hooligan Uprising.
Yeah, again, she's someone that we wanted for Independent Road. Was not able to make that work. I don't think some people understand some of these talents are actually booked almost 9 months in advance, sometimes depending on where they're working. So sometimes it's very hard to find that common ground as far as getting them in here. But the one thing we try to do is we try to listen to our talent, and when they post on social media, we're paying attention. You mentioned, first of all, you mentioned the Vanessa Holiday and Ashlyn Alexander match. They just kind of mentioned it, on social media. It was like somebody booked this, and of course, me being hold my beer for a second. Here we go, because I'm gonna be that guy. If we can make it happen, I'm gonna make it happen. And so when you look at Erica, she has had a really tough go her last two shows. She fell to Masha Slamovich, and there's no shame in that.
Nah.
Many people are going to fall to Masha Slamovich, and then she basically had that victory ripped right out from beneath her from Billy Starks when she wrestled Billy and Maddie Monarch in a triple threat. So Erica's really looking at getting this victory. She really wants to make a name for herself, and Shazza is someone that she has dreamt about wrestling since she got into the business. So when Shazza had finally mentioned to us that she was wanting to come to this show, it was the perfect match for us to make, and it will be for the number one contendership. What better way?
Yeah, I spoke to Erica a couple of weeks back, and she's very motivated about this match, and she's gonna give it all she got. She knows what she's going to deal with as it pertains to Shasha. Shasha is a well-traveled individual. She was international star long before she made the jump here to America. She's been in America plenty of times while she was living in Australia. So she knows the ins and outs in that wrestling way. So obviously the experience factor goes to Sasha, but Erica in particular, she's young, she's driven, she's motivated, and she wants to break through. She wants to get over that hump as it pertains to Hooligan Championship Wrestling. As she pointed out, came on the losing end of her two appearances. You know what they say about the third attempt, third time's the charm. So we'll definitely see how that turned out. And lastly, your main event of Hooligan Uprising, Shane Mercer, the Iron Demon, with his first title defense of the championship. And he goes one on one with the man with no limit. He is also an Evansville native, the one and only
Yes.
Matt Diesel, who just recently was at Game Changer Wrestling a few weeks ago. So he's making waves, learning from Myron Reed, young GOAT, and just showing what he can do, traveling and everything. How you feeling about Matt Diesel being the first man up to challenge the Iron Demon for this World Championship?
For us, it made perfect sense. Matt was somebody we've had our eye on from the get go. Very talented, like you're talking about. Just now starting to get some of those opportunities that I think that he probably should have got a couple of years ago. Um, Getting that opportunity with GCW, and what better way to main event the night with the hometown guy Matt Diesel having an opportunity to beat someone of the caliber of Shane Mercer and become our world champion right there. I know what the ticket sales look like. I know who's bought tickets. His family is going to be there in full support of him. It's a big moment for, Matt right there in Evansville. Cannot wait for that matchup. I think the style is perfect for this type of matchup. People look at Mercer as such a powerhouse, but he is super athletic. And Matt's one of the best athletes in pro wrestling. And this is going to be a great matchup.
So, by the way, the tickets for this double event currently are $8. Um, so man, it doesn't get any better than that.
Still,
Imagine that is a steal. So, you know, I mean, there's a lot you could do at $8, and I'm telling you, I will, if the weather holds up, do not miss this event. Hooligan Championship Wrestling, they going full throttle to kick off the new year at the Evansville National Guard Armory at Evansville, Indiana. Hooligan Uprising and Elevation, two events, one night, one price. Get your tickets. All ticket prices are $8, second row and beyond. First row seats already sold out. And check them out on social media at Hooligan Championship Wrestling, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hooligan CW on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, look them up. Hooligan Championship Wrestling on Facebook, their fan page. They'll keep you posted on everything.
Let me say something
Ehren,
real quick.
yeah,
Can I say something real quick?
go ahead.
And I think a lot of people may be confused about the two show format. This isn't going to be like a 6 hour night. So please do not think, oh my gosh, this it's never going to end. It's not. It's going to be perfectly probably about 2 hours and 30 minutes total uh, as far as the night goes. So please come on out. Don't think that you're going to be there all night watching pro wrestling and you got to get up early in the next morning. We're going to start it at 6 p.m. Central Time, and we will be done probably 8:30 before 9 o'clock. So hope to see everyone come out and support us.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with too much wrestling, Aaron. But I
No, there's
understand
not.
you. But I understand your premise. You get you explaining and everything and clarifying on some things. So yeah, go check it out, man. Hooligan Championship Wrestling presents Hooligan Uprising and Elevation at the Evansville National Guard Armory. Yours truly is the proud sponsor of the event. I'm sponsoring Superstar Jay Lucas for his match, and I am sponsoring Mackenzie Morgan for the Ascending the Queendom a qualified match. And yes, Ascending the Queendom is taking place in May of 2025. Stay tuned for more details on that. We're just gonna get through this double event first, and then we're going from there. Thank you for your time, Aaron. Happy
Yes, sir.
holidays to you, and I'll see you in January, man.
Yeah, Kenny, man, thank you so much for everything you do for our promotion and for wrestlers all across the Midwest. Thank you so much for sponsorships. I know these talents adore you. Couldn't do it without fans like yourself. Greatly appreciate you and thank you so much.
Thank you, man. You have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. All right.